get comfortable in New York and really show off his power and kind of do what he did really towards the end of the season. Ended up having a perfectly fine season. Actually, what was his number? Like, how much did he earn? Probably like $21, $22. But if
Shohei
I didn't,
Ohtani owned.
no, sir.
Sorry,
Giancarlo Stanton. But if I didn't get Stanton around 130 in FBC, I got Ohtani everywhere else.
Stanton earned 15, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Well, but Ohtani, to me, because I would get him in the 220s, 210s. That's when he was being drafted. And he was, to me, the fantasy MVP. Jorge Polanco, also Jared Walsh, a guy that I was really high on coming in, and a guy that I did not have. Well, first I'm just going to say this because it's fun to say. Adolis was great. But Tyler O'Neill, I owned him 0. Didn't see it coming. Couldn't have expected it. I mean, the 34 home runs, 15 are stolen bases with a 286 average. Not for me. He didn't do any of that for me this season. But those to me are the fantasy MVPs of the season on the hitter side.
100%. By the way, Cedric Mullins finished as the number 5 outfielder. Mitch Haniger finished as the number 11 outfielder.
Yes,
so,
but it wasn't going to replace Mitch Haniger. That wasn't the idea.
I know.
But if you look at the 17th or 18th round of the ADP from NFBC, I think you can pick anyone there. Jesse Winker, you get him so late. Look what he did. Austin Riley, we mentioned. Chris Taylor, how valuable was Chris? Besides last night hitting the walk-off home run, but he was he can play in any position, and his value was through the roof. And you mentioned Jared Walsh. Those players in the getting those in the 17th and 18th round, that's so much value right there on top of whatever you had. Hopefully, if you had something higher up, but those really were the ones that can put your team from just good to great.
And Jorge Polanco. I don't know if I mentioned
Jorge Polanco. Yes,
but boy, Jorge Polanco was great this year.
I'll throw in Salvador Perez. I think that having the number 2 overall guy as a catcher, just unbelievable. And Brandon Crawford, he's a guy that came way off on the waiver wire. You mentioned Adolis Garcia. He's the waiver wire winner of the week of the year. But Brandon Crawford really is next. And he had it all in one shot, so you could have not played him in the end and still had all the value.
How about are we going to do the bust? Because I just want to say a player I hate. I just hate. Can I say a player I hate?
Sure, why not?
Eugenio Suarez. Oh my God.
Yeah, it didn't work out.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. And I had, that was not.
You'd rather that Joey Votto than the Eugenio Suarez there.
No doubt. One guy I want to put out for next year, just as I'm looking, I think Gleyber Torres is going to be super cheap next year. I think he's going to probably be bought for $13. And I think that's a good price for Gleyber Torres next year. I think
the bust of the year is Adalberto Mondesi.
Yeah, okay. I mean,
yes,
if we're going to use that metric,
you held him all year.
But or Mike Trout. But what about Mike Trout?
Mike Trout is number 1 in terms of value lost. He earned a negative $4. He cost $44. Mondesi earned negative $8 for $34.
Yeah, but
Mondesi was more integral for your stats.
I mean, okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
but he was injured, and we can have the argument, and we can certainly have the argument. What do you think the number on Mondesi is going into next year?
What do you think that he's gonna go?
Yeah.
With Mondesi, the answer is I really don't care because I'm probably not going to take him for whatever my value is.
A lot of people listening who will care, though.
No, but where will he go? I'm going to say 4th round.
Well, how about this? Would you rather have Acuna going into next year coming off an injury or Mondesi coming off an injury?
Acuna for sure.
Acuna, no.
Okay, then would you rather have DeGrom next year or Acuna?
It's a different animal, but
I think
the answer is Acuna.
Yeah, I think it's Acuna.
It has to be Acuna.
I mean, the injury that Acuna is coming back from, and you're the injury guy, people come back well.
He's going to be so undervalued. I'm going to have so much Ronald Acuna next year. It's going to be great. He's going to be so undervalued.
But I think people are going to catch on to that over the course of time because the thing about Acuna is, the stolen bases are amazing, but the hit tool's there too. I mean, he hits for average. He hits for power. He does a lot of great stuff. I don't, I see some early NFBCs going out where he's showing up in the second round. It's not going to.
I mean, Acuna. Here's the thing: Acuna's price is going to spike, and all the value is going to be lost as soon as he steps on the field in spring training. Oh, he played in the spring training game. That's it.
Well, how about this? How about Acuna or Jose Ramirez?
That's a good one for next year.
I want Jose Ramirez.
I think Acuna.
Really? I think I go Ramirez. I don't take Ramirez just for the safety of it.
I'm going to go Acuna for the steals and for the what's it called? The outfield eligibility also. I think that'll play a little bit. It's close. It's close.
Though.
You can't do wrong, right? The answer is you go in an auction. You go with whoever's cheaper. That kind of thing.
Yeah. And if you're on a draft, you take. If you're on the wheel, you take Ramirez and Acuna. And then you got
no way Ramirez is finishing to the wheel, but I've seen some places where Acuna was going like 17 and Trout was going 18. I will take Acuna, Trout 15, 16, and I will not think twice about that.
What about pitching MVPs, starter and reliever, Ian?
Robbie Ray.
Yeah, it's
Robbie Ray. And you know how I had Robbie Ray, Cedric Mullins on the AL Labor team. That's how it happened. And Hunter Renfroe, right? But I mean, I had a $3 Cedric Mullins and a $4 Robbie Ray, and that's how it goes.
Yeah, Robbie Ray led the majors in strikeouts with 248. Anybody who know who came second with 247?
Was it Zach Wheeler?
Zach Wheeler, yeah, that's right.
Nice.
Robbie Ray, and
that's a guy. That guy was way up wrong on Zach Wheeler. I wish I had him somewhere, and I avoided him like the plague.
We traded Jazz Chisholm for Wheeler.
I remember when you did that. Oh, you were right, and you were pleased. Well,
that was a good trade.
And by the way, Ariel, who did I compare? Who did I compare Robbie Ray to a couple years ago?
So this is true. This is true. And
I have an article written about it.
Yeah, Ruvain was very high on Robbie Ray years ago, and he compared him to Max Scherzer.
Yes, but
if
look,
he ever got control, that's all he needed. He needed to control his walks.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Hold the phone. And this is what I was talking about with the opening conversation, which I think is the most important of all of the conversations. If you're understanding the players and paying attention, because I had the same. I have been Robbie Raying for years because I love the stuff. I also love the grunt. Robbie Grunt Ray. Like, I love it. I love the way he pitches. I think the pants are a little tight, but so be it. But the fact that it all came down because he's throwing 95 to 97 from the left side. And to me, all it was going to take was finding that command. And that's why paying attention to the players and hearing that he was 26 for 28. That's not luck. You cannot throw 26 for 28 strikes lucky. Something has to have shifted. And that's to me, really important.
Yeah. So what happened with Ray this year is, the walks. I mean, his whip was 105. His walk rate, which was 18% in 2020, went down to 7%, a career low. But it's also his stuff. His fastball is up 2 miles an hour from where it was 2 years ago, and it's actually back up to when he started pitching in the majors. And he ditched the curveball, and he increased his fastball usage 10 extra percent. So he said, I'm throwing harder. I'm going to throw it more. And he got more pinpoint. So it all came together for him. It did.
But you know what? Next year, he's going to go in the second round, and I'm not going to touch him. That's a weak spot. Well, no, I'm not going to touch him in an auction if he's cheap. But part of my problem is I'm not going to own Cedric Mullins next year, and I'm not going to own Robbie Ray. If I bought him for $3, I'm not going to spend $30.
Anybody who had an outsized year out of the blue is always going to be overvalued. I mean, remember Marcus Semien, when he had that great year 3-4 years ago, he was way overdrafted the following year, but then this year he crept back down to where he usually was, and oh my God. So there's always, very few players who have a really good year, a little bit outsized even, stick with that. The exceptions are guys like Nelson Cruz. But that's a little bit different story because the dude is 40.
Rick Porcello won the Cy Young one year, fell off the face of the earth after that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's regression. Idea. It's regression. Honorable mentions: Carlos Rodon, $26 player, and
for sure
the bench player, and had him at Adam Wainwright. He was also a bench player, and he was just absolutely phenomenal.
And Kevin Gossman. Kevin Gossman should get a.
Kevin Gossman was the number one player in points leagues this year.
Yeah, because I mean he was a late draft, and so I ended up buying him in a dynasty league to try to compete, and he was quite excellent for a good long time.
We lived with him last year, and we had him in almost every team this year. So we lived with the good and the bad.
Yep. Relief pitcher, I'm going to say it's Emmanuel Clase, who was my bold prediction on the closers. He had a 100.4 mile an hour average fastball, the highest in the majors for any pitcher over 10.
Whoa. Time out. Say that again.
100.4 average fastball velocity.
So you're telling me he was so sometimes he would throw 101,
yes,
and sometimes he threw 107?
Not 107, but it would be 101, 102, yeah.
No, but if it's 104, I mean, you're the actuary.
100.4.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Between
98
and 102 for most of his pitches.
No. I misheard.
Yeah,
I heard him say 104
No,
average fastball.
100.
I missed the point. I missed it. My bad.
Only one player had a higher one than him, but he didn't last long. With Jordan Hicks. But he did. Clase solved his walk problems and his home run problems, and there you go. Karinchak was great, although maybe spider tack was the reason he fell off. I don't know.
He wasn't great. He had a terrible season.
He had a great season for the first month, and that was it.
No, he was terrible. What? No, come on. I own Karinchak in a dynasty league. Okay, all right. Maybe he was not. He ended the season in the.
He had a 0 ERA for the first month. Karinchak.
Okay, all right.
So,
well, I'm good with Class A. I'm good with Class A. I'm good with Class A.
It's also, and my other two guys, Ranger Suarez, who was relief pitcher eligible. I mean, that came in out of nowhere. 106 innings for 1.36 ERA, 1 WHIP, 8 wins, 4 saves, 107 Ks. That's unbelievable. And Andrew Kittredge, a Rays relief pitcher, but he was a $9 player for free. I had him on almost every team. Lots of wins, lots of saves. Very useful across the board. How about Chad Green, $9 player? You can't make this stuff up. I was high on Chad Green. I had him on every team. So those guys were good. Those relief pitchers more valuable than you think.
Well, who had the most strikeouts for a relief pitcher this year?
Was it Karinchak? No.
No way.
Rafael Iglesias.
Oh, Iglesias?
Yeah.
Okay.
Iglesias
was I'm sorry. It was Hendricks, Iglesias, and then who was number 3?
Not Diaz, was it?
Paul Sewald.
Oh, is it really?
104 strikeouts on the season. 3.06 ERA.
That's a name to consider
whip,
for next year.
10 wins and 11 saves, which is almost like a 2020 player, isn't it? 10 wins and 11 saves?
He's the Chad Green of next year. If he's not the closer, because he's the high leverage guy, and that's the way they use it in Seattle, but he's the Chad Green guy. He's the guy who's going to get you a lot of vulture wins, a save here and there. He's going to get you tons of strikeouts, which is like a fifth starter.
I own him in a keeper league where I can keep 15 players, and I have him cheap.
I mean, if you have him cheap, then like what I'm saying, he's going to be undervalued. And he's going to be cheap to buy. Actually, the answer is you don't, because you can pick him up for cheap.
Get him cheap.
You get him
throw
for
him,
$4 or $5.
Throw him, and then you can pick him cheap.
Can you guys talk about real quick, and then we all gotta go. I got my better halfway.
Well, we have to settle some board bets first before you go.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Do your thing first.
No, go ahead, because my wife literally just texted me with a question mark.
All right, sure. So we have to settle some board bets. We had.
I have a feeling I know what this is. This is a little self-congratulations on your part. Is that correct? Is that how you want to end the show? You want to end the show with a little pat on your own back?
We have to settle the score here.
All right, let's go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, first of all, just to tell all the listeners, because maybe they were following us in terms of labor and tout, unfortunately did not win either. Finished second to Frankie Stamfel in tout. He had a great week, and so he dominated me that last week, so he won. Congratulations to Frank. And labor, I was up Thursday at 3 p.m. with 3 days to go. I was up by 2 points, and some guy got a steal for Chandler, and I didn't get another win, and I felt
tight as a drum, huh? Tight as a drum.
Tight as a drum. But the board bets here. Ian came on this year twice in the show already, and he had 2 $1 board bets.
That's true.
Yeah, the first one was who will finish ahead in TGFBI. We were in the same division, and
yes, we were.
I didn't win the league, but I did finish ahead of you.
You finished third, and I finished fourth.
It's close.
That's correct. And it was pretty close, but yes, you did win that. You did win that. Indeed. I owe you $1.
All right, very, very big spender there, $1.
Well, I mean, I believe that's what we said.
That is what we said.
I give you 8.
No.
10.
Venmo. He wants Venmo. He collects Venmo.
I'll take a signed picture from George Washington.
No way. Keep going. Keep going.
The other board bet, which I'm more proud of actually, is J.D. Martinez versus